Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We are gathered here today because we have to discuss a very, very important topic. What is alcohol consumption? Because maybe you know, but do you know what we mean by it? We mean drinking until actually getting drunk, when you don't know what you are doing, when you are confused, when the limits seem limitless, you are prone to taking risks. You are prone to engaging in violent or dangerous behavior. You cannot coordinate your movements well. Can you imagine how dangerous that is? What do we mean by Erasmus+? You maybe think, oh, only youth exchanges because they are with underage and underage kids shouldn't drink. But you know what? We say, you know what? Adults shouldn't drink strong alcohol on projects. So we also mean training courses, seminars, and so on. Why? Because we want a safe environment. We want everybody to take part in these wonderful daily activities and be an active and engaged participant. Therefore, please say no to strong alcohol and stay safe.
Hello everyone. Today we are here to talk about consumption of alcohol on Erasmus Plus project should not be allowed. Okay. Alcohol. It is a clear liquid that it has strong smell and it's used in some medicine or in another product like drink, beers, whiskey, wines. It is an amazing drink, right? Would have many benefits to our selves. Okay, consumption, sorry. What is consumption? We ingest something in our body. We choose to put something in our body. We choose, nobody else. We. And what about not be allowed? What does it mean not be allowed? What does it mean? It is forbidden, it is autocratic, it is like Hitler. Okay. Don't laugh. It's very important, okay. We are being forced under someone's rules. Do you like it? No. Every person has his own limits. Okay. How would it be better when we have always someone up in our head to tell you have to do this, you don't have to do this. It's okay. This is me. This is my body. I have my limits. I know, and I will explore what I want to do, or to drink, or whatever. So we are in an Erasmus Plus project, which is a European program to support education, training, sport in Europe, all of this. And people gain experience, they interact with each other, okay? We are being more openness and we are interacting in a meaningful way.
We gathered here to discuss the topic. Consumption of alcohol on English project should be not allowed. Yeah. Of course we are agreeing. And you said that we are deciding what we are putting to our bodies. Yeah, of course, it can be different things, but we are talking about alcohol. So let's say that you're on the youth exchange and you're putting alcohol inside you. You get drunk. What example you give to the younger generation? I mean, European Union gave the funds, founded the project, and you were supposed to work on the special topic. For example, we are on the training course, make the lead. We are learning how to be a leader. And instead of learning how to be a leader, we are totally drunk and we are having a party. That's not the purpose of the youth exchange or training course, yeah, isn't it? Another thing is alcohol causes lack of logic thinking. Productivity of the people after alcohol is, I think, equal 0 or even like minus 100% because you're hangover, even you can puke your shoes and you're sleeping, you're not working on the workshops. That's it. So I think consumption of the alcohol on the E+ project should be not allowed at all. Maybe not at all, but one beer. Like we said, less than 6% is good. Thank you for attention.
To live or not to live, to drink or not to drink. These are questions that every leader has in his mind every single day.
The thing is now, what's the most important thing? Like, are you born a leader or do you become a leader? So how many of you believe that a leader is born? Please raise your hands.
How many of you think that a leader is someone that you become to? Please raise your hands. Okay, thank you. You're in the right train, of course. So, there's two ways of acquiring the skills that you need to be a leader. One is a conscious way, and the other is the unconscious way.
The conscious way is when you're, for example, attending a training course. That's the hardcore way of getting your skills. But there are skills that are, like, for example, super important, as we learned yesterday in this training course. For example, directness, open-mindedness, choosing specifically self-discovery, stress management, cognitive thinking, and mood enhancement that you cannot always acquire through training. Because there is a much easier way to achieve those skills, and it is with the consumption of alcohol, which is proven by Bayer's study in 1985 that these are the main effects that alcohol consumption can give to a person. So if there is an easy way to get where you want, why would you go the hard way? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Finally, we've heard some serious arguments on the side of the opposition team. Of course, as we said before, we are not against all consumptions of alcohol. We are pro-consumption of alcohol that can actually help with all those things, and we think that this is where we set the limit to 6%. But of course, you heard some other arguments that were really childish. I mean, obviously, the opposition team does not entirely understand what democracy is, because banning stuff is not, of course, Hitler or I don't know, something like this. I would like to say that we're all adults. We're not in this age that we're still exploring the world. We've all been drunk, we've all been there. It's not a necessity, and the program is only for several days. 1 week, maybe 2 weeks, and I think we can all stay sober during these days. It would mostly benefit us. And apart from that, you also don't introduce toxins to your body and you feel healthier. And now I would also like to mention here that there are other alternatives to alcohol, for example, sweets. Chocolate is also very tasty. So you can, for example, enjoy 1 or 2 beers and having a good snack.
Guys, we have beer later.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Hello, dear friends. So the topic of this debate is consumption of alcohol. on the projects being not allowed, right? Their proposition is talking that it should be allowed. So they are already supporting actually our statement here, because we believe it should be allowed, and it should be allowed without no limits, because not allowing something, exactly, it means to forbid. We believe that adults should have the freedom to choose whether they wish to consume alcoholic beverages or not during the leisure time of the project. And there are many benefits to actually not banning alcohol consumption in any way, because first of all, it has been scientifically proven that alcohol consumption may have positive psychosocial effects such as stress reduction, mood enhancement. It's a cognitive and performance enhancer in moderate quantities. This is what we are talking about. We are talking about adults. And adults have the chance to be responsible, right? So we put our trust in adults doing the right thing. And 1 second.
Would you like to accept the question?
Yes, I would. But right now, okay, yes, please answer.
Do you think that alcohol consumption could be a very, very toxic coping mechanism for your stress or emotions?
Yes, it can be. But this is exactly the thing that I'm talking about, that we need to be responsible with our consumption. Banning something is never been a solution to actually get rid of it. People will find their way if they want to. And people have a need for entertainment and for just, social interaction. It helps to create more bondness between people because it helps to open up. It does help to communicate somewhat more meaningful way because of this openness and directness. And the thing is, we must emphasize that this consumption should only take place on the leisure time. Yes, please.
Do you consider that by using openness, alcohol to become more open, would you kind of exclude or isolate the people who cannot drink or don't want to?
No, because you have a freedom of choice, whether you want to consume alcohol on your free time here or you don't. If you don't, nobody is telling you do not do this. The proposition is telling you you cannot do this. This is not a positive way to solve issues. So this is our position, that you as adult human beings must have the option to choose whether you wish to consume alcohol or not. And it doesn't matter if it's strong alcohol or hard or soft liquor, because you as individuals make the choices, and there will always be a risk involved that some people cross the borders, but we have to be aware of them, and that helps to reduce that risk. And this is our position. Thank you.
Here with this thing, because I think that it's the main target of the training process is to gain and share knowledge. So instead of sharing, give to people alcohol, it's better to give them something more nutritious, to have clear mind, to have to not to have hangovers, etc.
So I heard from you things like lack of logic thinking, and not necessity for alcohol, toxins, feeling healthier without it, and then you give us sugar. Don't you think sugar have the same chemical things on us? It also give, it's not healthy for us. It can really disturb our moods and put our energy up and down, the same as coffee and other things. So if we are banning alcohol, the same with all unhealthy stuff. Sugars, coffee, all the things which can impact us the same way as alcohol does.
Alcohol consumption increases the symptoms of panic, anxiety, and depressive disorders. As well, healthy lifestyle is priority of the program.
I would like to say that if you drink alcohol, the food that usually is not good will taste automatically like 10 times better. So alcohol is good for the taste. Thank you.
As adults, we should do everything we want in our free time, as long as it doesn't affect the training course in any way. And also, I didn't agree what they said with being allowed to drink a beer. I mean, if I don't want to drink a beer and I want to drink a wine, but it has more than 5%, like, I think it's absolute nonsense. You can get drunk from wine, from beer, from anything you want. So, if you ban everything, it should be all alcohol, not just beer. Just there are people that don't like a beer and maybe they prefer mojito.
Thank you very much. You don't need to stand on the bus with old grandfather in the morning, so that everyone thinks that alcohol fumes come from him. Yeah, this is argument. You don't. Yeah. And Chase, second reason, alcohol reduce immune system, and COVID epidemic during this very important now.
Thank you so much for your attention. So I've heard from the opposition that, oh, you are more than 18, so you are allowed to do whatever you want in a project. But actually, when you sign the contract, the participant contract, to go to a place, you have to follow the rules. And considering that it's been said that, oh no, it would happen anyway, they would hide in the room and they would drink. No, it's actually something more. It's the fact that we all need to follow the rules and to respect them.
Thank you. Do we have someone to add last argument on this side?
Oh, come on.
Okay.
But then you're not.
So one of the most important lessons of Erasmus Plus is learning by doing. You're talking about we know our limits, we should know that. How do you expect somebody to know their limits if they cannot try their limits? And also, try to think about the fact that you have prohibition, the example of prohibition. What was the result of that? Even more alcohol consumption, even more illegalities. What is the point of that? You're causing more problems by introducing a new rule. Thank you.
And last argument on this side, if you have, of course.
From the participants, right?
Double agent, very fish.
Okay. The point and the beauty of Erasmus Plus is that you get a chance to discover yourself. In many cases, we're so scared of finding out who we are that we mask ourselves behind alcohol, behind cigarettes, behind everything that we think people want us to be. If we actually give a chance to discover ourselves without the use of alcohol, you will be surprised at the results. Thank you very much.
So for our team, because one of your points was all the time about degrees, percentage of alcohol, you know that if you take strong alcohol, you mix it with soft drink, the percentage or easiness of the alcohol goes down as well as the beer or wine. Why it's not an option?
You are assuming that everybody would mix it with a soft drink, but a lot of people just drink it as is. If I drink, for instance, 3 glasses of whiskey, I can drink it really fast, in maybe less than half an hour, because there are just 3 glasses. But even if I'm a good drinker, those 3 glasses will definitely make me more than tipsy, and therefore more prone to engaging in not okay behavior, drowsiness, confusion, lack of control of what I do, what I think. So that's why we think we should control the percentage and the quantity. Of course, for underage participants, according to the law of the state in which we are in, probably they won't be allowed to drink even 1 beer, because that's the law and we have to follow it.
You mentioned the study from 1985 regarding the effects of alcohol and the benefits of it. Do you have any other studies, or can you accept the fact that in 35 years, maybe other studies prove you wrong?
Yeah, actually there are several studies on the topic dating from 85 until today. But if your argument is that if a source is old and not valid, then I cannot counteract that.
But I have a question, maybe for all of you. You talk about the health, yes? You looks like very clever, and in this case I have a question. Do you know the beer has a vitamin, like routine? And I think for all Erasmus people, we need some vitamins in winter time, for example, yes? And in this case, beer is okay, I think. or not?
As we said, beer has at most 5-6% of alcohol. We did not say that you should not be able to drink beer, although you can get your vitamin from natural sources like fruits, vegetables.
For some young people, the Erasmus Youth Exchange may be the first trip abroad of their. They come try alcohol maybe for the first time, and very often the first time alcohol take it overdose or poisoning. There is very high risk of results asphyxia with vomit. Are you ready to take this responsibility?
First of all, if I understand the question correctly, then we do not talk about underage people who consume alcohol for the first time on the project.
18.
We stated our position that we believe people should have their own option to choose whether they wish to consume alcohol on their free time or not, if they're of age. And we also said that there's always risk involved, but managing risk means that we have to be aware, and that helps to act in a responsible manner.
As we all know, a big part of the projects, at least not big, but there is part of the project which is called Cultural Night. At this project, it's culinary evening, but almost always it's about at least a bit of strong drink from the country, which is representing themselves. I think it's also a big part of how we share our culture. It's something interesting to try, and normally, at least me, I have never tried those drinks, and they're strong, maybe they're terrible, but it's very interesting to try them and know how it's made and the recipe. So if you ban all the strong alcohol, don't you think you take like some part of cultural experience from the participants?
I think this has to do with the definition of the word consumption. And maybe we should have clarified it better.
Yes, let me clarify once more. By consumption, we don't mean just tasting something. So maybe for a cultural night, if you have just one sip of, I don't know, tipuras, it's tipuras, right? Or something else, it's just one mouthful, it's okay, you just taste. But what we mean by consumption is actually drinking until you get drunk. So the state of, of being drunk. So that's what we mean.
From the conversation of yes alcohol or no alcohol, it's a conversation between a little bit of alcohol and all of the alcohol. So where do you draw a line if somebody would argue I'm on drugs? Because it's like another form of alcohol.
Yeah.
Like if somebody would argue, okay, if we can have strong alcohol, we can also go for some drugs. It's like another version of alcohol.
Well, this is very easily explained by that drugs in most countries are totally illegal substances, so there is a very strict line that no drugs, because it has legal penalties. Alcohol for overage people do not have such penalties, so this is a place for discussion, which we are having.
So if I understood your point correctly, the main part was for you to control the level of alcohol consumption so that people or the participants wouldn't get drunk. When other people mentioned you can get drunk by just drinking light alcohol, so how would you control like the dosage or that people wouldn't get drunk? Because if I understood it, this was your main point.
So I don't think there should be a hard control on this. We're talking to adults. I guess we are at an age that everybody has tried alcohol, they know their limits. And as long as it doesn't interfere with the ability to actually participate in the training and share the knowledge, it should be fine.
Because they were arguing, for any of you, because they were arguing a lot about consumption should not be allowed, but can you give some examples where consumption should be allowed, but there are those limits that you set? What would be, for example, two examples where you set the limits?
I cannot answer that question because we believe that we should not limit quantities. If we put our faith in the responsibility of the adult people, okay? They decide how much alcohol they wish to drink. People come here. We believe people come here to learn. Right? This is the main objective, of course. So if during their free time they wish to consume some alcohol, then we let them do it happily. It is not a problem for us. And we believe that they will arrive to our workshops and our seminars because they are interested in it. We do not make somebody do something or make somebody not do something. They are adult people and this is our position.
Light alcohol, so beer or wine, can be drunk, but in a reasonable amount. Thank you. Yes.
You can comment this statement.
Yes. I see that for a lot of people from the audience, this percentage that we said, or when we refer to light alcohol, has been a bit confusing. Let us clarify why. So the reason is, if you drink strong alcohol, even if you're an adult, even if you think you know your limits, you can get drunk very quickly. The problem is not the fact that you get drunk, the problem is you can get to alcoholic coma quite easily, which is extremely dangerous. If the doctor doesn't interfere on time, you will die. But from one beer, even if you do not know how well you hold to alcohol, if you have one beer, which takes you maybe half an hour to drink it because it's big, what could possibly go wrong? I mean, you could be drowsy or you could be sleepy. That's it.
It's a question for all three of you, so all three can give a separate answer. From the other side, who do you believe was the most convincing in actually you changing your opinion?
We are not convinced by none of them to change our opinion. We strongly believe that every adult person should have their freedom of choice, and we all believe the same thing in our team.
And the other two?
Yes, I agree with him. They have not convinced me. No.
We actually feel that they make the situation worse by introducing new rules, because yes, there is a possibility for people to get drunk, to fall in a coma. There is also a possibility that an asteroid will hit the Earth right now. And there is also a possibility that introducing all these rules cause social unrest. And here we are also a social group, and some people may not be happy because they are being told what not to do. We don't tell nobody what not to do.
Thank you very much.
So I think that before we vote, big applause for everyone.